getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino and Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Hey, it's Wendy here. Are you looking to rebound from your high-interest credit card debt? A SoFi personal loan could help. Consolidate your debt with a SoFi personal loan into one low monthly payment, and you could save money on interest over time. And with as soon as the same day funding, you could hit the ground running ASAP. Apply today with no fees required at SoFi.com/debt rebound. Loans originated by SoFi Bank. NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debt rebound.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper. So knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
This is the Ty Butler Show.
Judge, I'm trying to be hopeful about his injury status, but even if he does come back, I am going to be concerned about how a man who was out for 3 months all of a sudden is going to play the next 2 months, being one swing away from re-injuring that rib.
The Ty Butler Show. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app. ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin Modern Windows and Doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, once we won and everything was up high and everything was amazing. The parade and all of that, just everything after we won was just amazing.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off and to wear a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Bart Scott.
What the hell?
Chris Carlin.
Take a hike. We're good.
This is Bart and Carlin.
Buckle your chin strap. We about to bang.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
That it is. ESPN New York, Bart and Carlin. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Carlin solo today, friends. Also on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. You can go over there. You can be a part of the program. We would encourage you to do so. And we would encourage you to get involved by leaving your comments, and I will read them and incorporate you into the program today. We will get into a lot of football today. Mike Tannenbaum is going to join us a little bit later this morning. I will be interested to get his take on some things going on with the Jets and Giants. And I'm not going to start there, but we're going to just kind of throw a bunch of things out up against the wall because this is where we are right now. I'm not going to lie. We're in the middle of July, and there's not a whole lot going on. And it's, listen, we're trying to string it together with duct tape here, but there are some interesting things that I would like to get into with you. And I want to start here with this. I can't talk about the Mets with actual baseball, right? I think we all understand this. What is the point of anything that's happening on the field at the moment? What is the point of screaming and yelling that Carson Benj did not play last night against Jacob Misiorowski? What's the point of getting worked up by that? What's the point of the fact that Freddie Peralta, went back to Milwaukee? I don't want to say he got in his feelings, but he certainly got bombed, and he got absolutely destroyed by his former team. And his numbers over his last 12 starts basically resemble an ERA that would get you kicked out of the game. They wouldn't even just take you out of the game. It would be like one of those old vaudeville things where they just put a hook around your neck and pull you out of the game from the dugout. They don't even grant you a walk out to the mound in that kind of respect with how it's gone. That's a problem. So, what do we discuss? What this future looks like and how this is going to shake out here over the coming weeks. Dan and I were talking a little while ago during a break, and there was a thought process to it that, to what Dan is saying, that, maybe if things go as poorly as can be the rest of the way, Steve Cohen at the end of the year is going to wake up and say, what did I just watch? What's happening? And I get that mentality. But I also don't particularly believe that that's the way this needs to be approached at this point. The sooner you have plans in order, the better. When Steve Cohen tells us a couple of weeks ago that, in fact, it will be David Stearns who will stay on and who will see out his entire contract, because they're not going to just walk away and blow the whole thing up, I don't have a problem with this. David Stearns has done an awful job last night, and all you have to do is just watch last night to talk about how awful of a job it's been. But what you do have to understand is that as you're moving forward, we might be putting it in your hands to fix what has been an absolute debacle, but you better fix it. I don't want to pay the guy $10 million a year to go on vacation for 2 years. So if you're going to fix it, what does that start to look like and who else is involved? And then we get to who the manager is going to be. And we get to Carlos Beltran. Now, Carlos Beltran, as we know, is not the manager as of yet because, well, let's just let him tell you why he's not the manager as of yet.
Carlos is a great human being. I love being around him. I felt, and I told him, and he can tell you about it. I told him that, one of the reasons why I wanted to be close to him was because I wanted to support him as much as I could with experiences of, dealing with situations in the clubhouse, the players. Baseball for me is a passion, no doubt about that. And yes, I had conversations with, few people within the organization. And I don't know, I just didn't feel was the right thing for me to do.
So he didn't want to be the guy right now, right after Carlos Mendoza got cut loose, out of some respect. Okay. Also, it probably would have been awkward that he's going into the Hall of Fame here in a week or two, and he'd have to walk away from the team for a couple of days, which is not something you can necessarily do. But I understand all his rationale. Personally, I might have wanted to take the job now or maybe after the Hall of Fame stuff is over with, to get a couple of months under my belt of managing to see what that looks like. So I'm not necessarily, I'm going in the next year and I might be fresh and it's got a fresh perspective, but I know what it looks like to at least have sat in that chair and to experience what's going on. At least I know that. Well, if I'm Beltran at this point, and he's going to be the Met manager, I understand that my first and foremost job is going to be about fixing the relationship between Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. I've heard this a lot lately, and I get it. If we're talking about the two candidates to be Met manager as Albert Pujols and Carlos Beltran, and we're going to make an assumption that it is going to be Beltran, well, then I think that we understand the kind of respect that Beltran carries with him, that Pujols would carry with him, frankly, but Beltran in particular here. Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor are going to have respect for what Carlos Beltran accomplished in his career, for the fact that this is a dude that's quite literally getting into the Hall of Fame as we speak. And it is someone that has played in New York and has experienced what it looks like, at the very least, to get close. To get close. Not to ultimately get there, but to know what winning looks like. And somebody that has done it before in another town. So with all of these things in mind, how exactly does that play in for Beltran for next year with these two guys? Well, there's no point in moving on from Lindor at any time soon until you know who the manager is going to be. If it's definitively going to be Beltran and it's definitively going to be Pujols, you're in a good spot. Let's just argue for a moment, though, that neither of those two guys is going to be there. Well, if you're putting in a first-time manager or you're putting in Andy Green, even if I know what they've said, or you're putting in somebody else that hasn't really done it before, or somebody that doesn't have the cachet, if you will, that you need to walk into the situation and immediately command respect, well, then it's probably not going to happen. You need somebody who has that kind of background in this situation. You need to go against what David Stearns has wanted to do. Beltran, as an advisor and being around the Mets, understands how everything works in every spot here. But he also is someone that is going to immediately have the respect of those two guys when they sit down. So if you're trying to fix a relationship, that's someone that you need in place. you have to have a big personality in place. You have to have somebody that's got a resume in place. Alex Cora would be another one. Maybe never as a player, was always a good, solid player, but obviously has had massive success as a manager, would immediately command respect. And that's what it's going to be about. The Mets' future is going to be about respect. I can't get so wrapped up in what this looks like before the deadline. Guys, let's just be honest. Is anything that they're going to get at the moment for, I don't know, Luke Weaver or Freddie Peralta or anybody like that going to bring back anything that's going to make difference in the short term or even over the long haul? Are you getting somebody that might be a big-time prospect for you or even a good prospect? No. I mean, we're going to see Brandon Sproat pitch tonight. Isn't that a little nugget when you consider a rough week for David Stearns? If Sproat goes out there, it's not had a great season, and actually just sticks it right down the Mets' throat after Peralta got bombed last night. And they traded away 2 of their top 5 prospects in order to get Peralta for the year, and this is what you've gotten in return. All of these things, nothing you have right now is moving the needle enough for other teams that I need to get really worked up by what they're going to be able to extract for any players at the moment. So what I need to focus on is what this is all going to look like in the future. And what this is all going to look like is a team that has to get fixed shortly and quickly. And not just because David Stearns doesn't have the long-term security that he needs in order to be someone that you can completely trust to just wrap things up and get it done, right? He hasn't done anything that has earned our trust so far, and you might even be a little bit nervous that David Stearns is going to do something that might jump the gun, might be, just a little bit out there and crazy and different because he needs to roll the dice and take a chance. I don't worry about any of that. What I worry about is just getting this team better. We all know that this should have been a lot better. We know the mistakes that have been made. We understand where things have gone where things have gone wrong with this entire season. They're not blowing this up. They may get some breaks here and there. Bichette opts out. You find yourself in positions where in the offseason, maybe a couple of more of your guys put together better second halves and maybe have a little bit more value. But if you're going to fix this, it's going to start with relationships, and it's going to start with the manager. So this is a completely different thing you need to be thinking about moving forward. The most important thing that can happen is that you have a manager in place who understands what's going on and who understands fixing relationships and can bring 2 superstars together. And that's something Beltran can do. I don't know if Pujols can do it or not. As a manager, I think he'll command respect because of the kind of player he was, but does he know how to manage people? I know that Alex Cora knows how to manage people and will command respect as well. There are answers here. At the very least, for me, it's either Beltran or Cora, and the manager being the right guy in place will have an importance in this particular spot that it will have nowhere else in baseball. That's really remarkable to think about. That the Mets are going to become, remember in football a couple of years ago where you talk about the running backs really not that important, and then you have a couple of running backs who end up having big seasons or big impacts, and Kenneth Walker ends up being a difference in a Super Bowl, and he gets a big money contract, all those kinds of things. There's always an anomaly to what people believe the rule is in the moment. That's one. Baseball with the Mets is on tap for that. Number 2, the Yankees there should be no discussion about what the plan here should be. There's no in between. I can't treat this like I'm just sitting and waiting on Aaron Judge and I'm going to let his health dictate what I'm doing for the rest of the year. Nope. Guys, the window's wide open here for this season. And you can take a lesson from the Knicks. Look at how the Knicks season completely unfolded. And they ended up in a position where you felt like in the playoffs, well, if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? I mean, it's right there for the taking. And they took it. They completely took it. For the Yankees, in the American League, it's right there for the taking. And I don't care that Aaron Judge is out right now. So what this means is that they need to be in on everything that's going to make them better. They need to be in on, you could be in on improving shortstop if you wanted. And I know Caballero's done a nice job. I understand that they're a better team with him on the field than with Volpe. But you can get better virtually at every position. Do I want to see Paul Goldschmidt in big spots down the stretch of the season with big at-bats? No, I don't. Do I need to see much more production from catcher? Of course I do. Of course I do, especially from the right-handed side. All of this, all of it, are things that have to be improved. And so for the Yankees, no holes barred here. Honestly. Just go out and do your freaking thing and make this be the year that you throw everything up against the wall and try to go win it, even if Judge is not able to come back. Because as we've talked about many, many times, when you have a player of his size who's turning 34, 35 years old, generally speaking, the injuries are more frequent and not less frequent. And the Yankees for the last couple of years have been very fortunate that he has stayed as healthy as he has. Now, it's time to completely turn the tables on it. Now, whatever Judge gives you the rest of the way, you have to look at as a gift. It can't be the reliant decision-making, the point upon which you rely your decision-making. If I could spit out a sentence, that'd be nice. I assume that he's not going to be back. I assume nothing. And thus, I end up in a position where I have to be aggressive and I have to go do it. And that's just not a couple of little arms here and there that it's going to help me in the bullpen. No, I need more help than that. So for Brian Cashman, for all you guys that scream and yell, and I'm one of them, that, he should have been gone a long time ago. You need to get past that. That's not happening. What you need to hope is that the moves that he makes this year are the ones that actually get you a little bit over the hump. And the ones that do come through. Because he's had those before. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. And it's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York. And listen, we get to a little football too. I've got Knicks later on. I've got Mike Tannenbaum coming up here shortly. I'm very, very curious to see what this looks like in the coming weeks of how the Jet defense is going to be markedly better. Aaron Glenn's taking over. When you look at his history in Detroit, you see someone that had the team get better each and every year, statistically, but you'd never look at it and think it was an incredibly dominant group by any stretch. You would look at it and you would think, well, they're good enough because they have an explosive offense. And at this point, since that's the case, with an explosive offense, all you need is a defense that's not capable of necessarily winning you games, but maybe not losing you games. That's what it was in Detroit. Don't make me go win 50-45 every week. And that's why Detroit had the level of success that they did. I am not suggesting that Geno Smith is going to become the reincarnation of Jared Goff. And that the Jets will have an offense that will be as productive as Detroit. Primarily, I'm not suggesting that because of the quarterback. But I look at the rest of the weapons, and I would say, why wouldn't I think that that was possible? Because the quarterback is who he is. And I can't believe that he's going to be great. I have to believe that he's going to be what he has always been. And that is excitingly average at best. Then I'm going to need a defense that will not win me games, but at the very least is not going to lose me games. Whew. That's a problem. That's a problem when I look at a group that's been completely revamped. I give them credit in that they have gotten to be a bigger group. They have gone out and done some things that would help with Nashawn Wright at corner, with Tavondre Sweat to make them bigger on the defensive line, with the other moves they made on the defensive line with Enigbare. Who knows, David Bailey's just a third down pass rusher to begin with. Who knows if that's the case, what it looks like at corner. Can it just be better? Is middle of the pack too much to ask for right now? I don't think in life average is too much to ask for. I have been able to basically survive being average the entirety of my life. What's wrong with expecting average? I know what our expectations are of the Jets, of winning 6 games, 5 games. Is that actually going to be enough to save Aaron Glenn at that point? I actually think the expectations for the Jets should be a little bit higher than that. Because I do believe with some of the moves that they have made that the Jets defensively can be good enough to not lose you games. They may not win you a ton of games, but they're not going to lose you a ton of games either. Like, we have seen some bad defense over the last few years. We have seen some awful defense over the last few years. Is it going to be that bad again? I don't think so. As many point out in the chat this morning, certainly Geno Smith cannot be worse than Justin Fields. Can he? I don't think so. I don't think he will be. I think all of those things taken into account should probably have you being a little bit more optimistic than maybe you have been so far. And then it just comes down to the coach. Do you believe enough in him? And does he believe enough, or does he have the belief enough from his team? I think there are a lot of people in that building that, while disappointed with what happened last year, still have a lot of belief in Aaron Glenn, just in talking to people. The core type people that work in a building have belief in what Aaron Glenn is about. I'm not saying that's good enough for me yet, but I feel like it could be better. Maybe listen, I'll admit it, okay? We could all get into the late July, training camp's going to open soon, and I'm getting suckered in, and I'm like a big fat flounder that's flopping around on your boat after you just hooked me in. That could be me. But at the same time, I honestly think that there's a chance. I think that there's a chance that they could be better this year. And that defense will actually be good enough to not lose you games. Bart and Carlin, 800-919-3776. Carlin solo today, 800-919-3776. Mike Tannenbaum joins us in short order. We talk to you in short order. Want you to be a part of all of the commentary that goes on this show, and you can easily do that by checking out the ESPN New York YouTube page. Let's roll. 800-919-3776 on ESPN New York.
prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Stormy day, wet roads, and crashes. Keep those headlights on with your wipers today. Be safe. LIE eastbound side by Springfield Boulevard. Accident blocking the right lane. We have an overturned tour bus reported on the New York Thruway. Serious crash there. Southbound side. The roads have been wet and the weather moving through in Orange County up by I-84 southbound before you get to exit 17. Expect a full closure there. And at Toms River, New Jersey, Route 70 is closed eastbound by Colonial Drive and Ridgeway Road. That's all because of an accident with down utility pole and wires. Extensive delays at the airports, especially LaGuardia and Newark. Kennedy with at least a 30-minute delay, but it's really tough at LaGuardia and Newark. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See him in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Kenny here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of the guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's a delicious, portable, zero-sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on summer with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If the Giants start out the season 0-3, forget it. What's going to happen to 65 or sooner? Well, kill it. Gets a little adversity.
You have a 5-year plan that after 3 weeks you're going to punt on.
Yeah, I can't handle 0-3 again.
Maybe it's a 10-year plan.
70 or sooner. But that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. No, how could it?
No, it's not going to.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
I'm not going to lie, and this is a specialty for Jake Asman. He can spend some time on this today. I just saw what the Jets' new white uniform combination is. Adam Schefter just tweeted it out. It's actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York. And on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, our guy is Mike Tannenbaum. He is the ESPN NFL front office insider. Michael, how are you?
Good, Chris. How are you?
I'm well. And here we are, finally, right on the doorstep of training camp opening. And Mike, listen, I know that you were obviously involved as an advisor last year when the Jets hired Aaron Glenn. I'm really interested this season in how Aaron is going to handle being the head coach and being the defensive coordinator. As you have seen this as an executive over the years in the league, what are the good ones who are doing the combo actually able to do? How are they able to manage it best?
Yeah, Chris, great point. And you see, a bunch of coaches do that. Kyle Shanahan, certainly, in San Francisco, Mike McDonald did it for the Seahawks for years, D'Amico Ryan, just to name a few. I think it's just about, scaling and delegating. Coach Belichick, I saw do it for a number of years when he was the head coach, be the defensive play caller. So it certainly can be done. You just have to have a really good staff and good, communication. So if you're making adjustments on the sidelines and something comes up, you're right there to, throw the challenge flag, call timeout, whatever it may be as a head coach. And, you've seen coaches do that for years, but again, you just have to be airtight on, the delegation and just being aware of, what's going on.
Does the fact that Frank Reich is there now as the offensive coordinator play a big role into that?
Yeah, I think what's great about Frank is he checks so many boxes. He played the position, he's coached the position, he's been a head coach. He's one of those rare people that checks so many boxes, Chris. And it's always great when you have experience on the staff, and it's always great when that experience is on the other side of the ball of the head coach. So I think Frank Reich will do a great job.
Mike Tannenbaum is with us, ESPN NFL front office insider. All right, Mike. So as we look at the Jets, what they've done defensively, it just looks as if they have gotten a lot more, a lot bigger and a lot more physical inside. How do you expect this defense to kind of be reshaped and, I guess, kind of reimagined, if you will, to being one that, can stop some people?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good way to put it. I think, when you look at what they've done this offseason, I think they've made meaningful changes at all three levels. You look at David Onyemata and Tavondre Sweat, I think two guys that are big, stout guys. And obviously, David Bailey, I think, my comparison to him was John Abraham. I think he'll have, real material impact on the team as a pass rusher, and then bring back Demario Davis, who should be the quarterback of the defense. And then on the back end, same thing with Micah Fitzpatrick, two smart, savvy veteran guys. And I think when you improve, all three levels, it matters. And then, a player that's really interesting to me is D'Angelo Pons. I know he's undersized. They're a second-round pick from Indiana, but boy, he's tough. He can blitz. He can cover. I think he's going to be a really good player. I know he's not ideal size-wise, but when you just watch him, Chris, boy, we talked about him a lot at the draft. He was really fun to watch.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn feels like he drafted himself right there.
Yeah.
Mike, when you what is a fair expectation of the offense with Geno Smith? Because we know the weapons are in place, but you also understand that Geno in his career, when he has been at his best, has been a good quarterback, but he's never been an elite level guy. What is a fair expectation for the Jet offense this season?
Oh, I think it could be really good. We've talked about this a lot over the years, Chris, but, you show me a good offensive line, I'll show you a good offense. And, it starts with two really good bookend tackles in Olu Fashanu and Armand Membo. I think Tippmann and Myers are really solid as well. And then, Breece Hall, to me, is somebody that brings a level of explosiveness to the running game that's really critical. And you have a bona fide number one guy in Garrett Wilson. So as you think about some of these other pieces that hopefully will come along, be it Kenyon Sadiq or Omar Cooper, the foundation of really good pass protecting tackles, a running back that could hit a home run, that's a really good foundation. And I think, look, Geno Smith didn't play well last year, but, you look at that Raider offense, and he was not the only one that was struggling.
Mike, let's shift over to the Giants for a few minutes here. First of all, when you look at the Jets, should people be a little bit more bullish than they have been on the Jets versus the fact that you've got John Harbaugh coming in, and there are a lot of people that are very bullish on the Giants?
Yeah, look, I am bullish on the Jets because I do think, they had a really productive offseason. They have some continuity, obviously, with the head coach, and I think their window is really just on the precipice of opening. Look, the Giants could have a really good year. My concerns about the Giants really focus around Malik Neighbors, and not sure when he'll be ready. John Harbaugh came out, and by the way, I think John Harbaugh is a great coach. I thought that was a great hire. It just seemed like he talked a lot about Cam Scatterby. He'll be ready to go, but didn't say the same about Malik Neighbors. And to me, Chris, that's significant. We just talked about Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. Who are those home run hitters? Back in the day, certainly OBJ could have been. Darnell Moody's a good player. Malachi Fields, their third-round pick, should be a good receiver. But I think there's just a lot of questions. And when you think about Philadelphia, Dallas, those teams are going to score a lot of points. And that's one of the questions you look at about this Giant offense.
This might be unfair, but I look at Jackson Dart, and he's hanging out with Scatterby a lot. Now, these are not guys that are getting in trouble off the field. But, Mike, they do some things that if you were an executive, they might make you shake your head a little bit in the offseason, especially when one of them has been injured. Is there an immaturity to worry about with the quarterback right now? Is there too much of an assumption that's being made that he's going to be a great player?
I think he's going to be good. Look, Chris, we talked about it. We went through that with Mark Sanchez, who was young growing up and won a whole lot of games for us at the Jets and got us to 2 championship games. And no reason Jackson Dart can't have a similar, impact on the team. Now, look, yeah, it's growing up. And when you're the quarterback of the New York Giants, it just comes with immense scrutiny. And, you see it with Jalen Brunson with the Knicks. You've seen it, for years from, the Aaron Judge of the world, the Yankees. Quarterback of the Giants is placed on a special pedestal. And he'll learn it. He'll grow. He's a very talented player. I would be, candidly, just more concerned about trying to harness in, some of the competitiveness relative to, knowing when to slide, knowing when to dive head first, and being available is a skill.
When you look at their defense, Mike, it was as bad as could be, especially against the run last year, and now your theoretically best defensive player has been traded away. How does coaching have a major impact in stopping the run for a team that could not stop a nosebleed last year?
Yeah, it's going to be scheme. And look, Denard Wilson, I think, is going to do a really good job. It's scheme, it's attitude, it's running to the ball. All those things, matter. And, look, they added Arvell Reese. They're probably going to start him off the ball. But that front seven has a lot of firepower. But you're right. There's a great rule of thumb, which is you have to earn the right to rush the passer by stopping the run. And they don't have to be great at it, but yes, at least middle of the road, and something they should be able to be this year.
All right, lastly, a little bit of a bone to pick with you. So, Mike, we worked together pretty intensely at the draft for 3 days for the last several years, and I think we've developed a pretty good relationship. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that in mind, we go out to dinner this year, and Mike does this thing to get conversation going at the dinner table, where you will ask questions, what's the best compliment you've ever gotten? Deeply personal questions to find out about people. And so, I felt like, this year in particular at Pittsburgh, I felt like we made a connection. That was nice. It was a nice personal night for a group of people. And then I find out you're at, other dinners, at Evan Cohen's dinner, and you're asking all these people the same questions. And frankly, it I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Maybe it's not the same special relationship I thought maybe it had the potential to be. Your response to that accusation?
Guilty as charged. The part that's funny is it probably rubs you, not a little bit wrong, a whole lot wrong. I'm surprised you're being measured right now, I guess is what I'm saying.
You would be surprised that you hadn't heard about this before this. How did this not come up a month ago when I first heard about it? No, I've just been sitting and stewing, Mike. That's what I've been doing, waiting to get you on. I thought we had something, but apparently I was wrong.
Well, hopefully we can do it again.
Mike, you're the best. I appreciate a few minutes. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Mike Tannenbaum, ESPN NFL front office insider. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Carlin Solo, we hit your calls on Met-related things, on Yankee-related things. With the Mets, is the manager the single most important thing that they have to get right moving forward? Because to me, it absolutely is. With the Yankees, does it even matter whether or not Aaron Judge is going to be ready for you to approach the trade deadline in any particular way? 800-919-3776. And with football starting, of course, all of your football calls. Let's get into it. You and me, Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York.
What I see all the time. I see people living with pain, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, thinking it's just a part of getting older. It's not. I'm Bart Scott, and if you are in need for a doctor, call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical treatments that actually get you fixed. No surgery, no downtime, no medication, just real results to get you moving again. And look, it's summertime. You shouldn't have to go outside. You should be outside enjoying it. Don't get stuck dealing with pain every day. They've got same-day or next-day appointments, offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Go to SandwellPain.com and stop living with the pain and start getting back to living pain-free.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
This is the Michael K. Show.
You might all disagree with me on this. 7th game of the World Series. The Yankees have to win to be champions. Every single one of their starting pitching is available. I could choose between Garrett Cole, a former Cy Young Award winner. I could choose between Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, or Cam Schlittler. There's one guy on the staff that's dominant and great, and that's Schlittler.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087, 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087, or simply visit TRA.com.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Clear some space in the rafters at MSG. A new banner is coming to the Garden.
Tonight, we play like we wanted to go home champions. To finish the game. not to start the game, to finish the game, it means the world to me. To go in that court with those guys, whatever environment we're in, home or away, doesn't matter for us.
To have the fans that we have in New York City and be able to bring home a championship after all these years is absolutely amazing.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks.
Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Let's hit it. 800-919-3776. Frank and New Rochelle will start us off on ESPN New York today. Hello, Francois. What's up?
Hi. Good. What's up, Chris? I kind of disagree with you on the manager thing. They need better players. Like, I know the managers get too much credit maybe when they win and not enough when they lose, they get killed. But you know, Pujols or Beltran, how long have they managed in baseball? Like Alex Cora, I get. He's a proven commodity. But for Beltran and Pujols, I just think it would be a big mistake. It'd be like a figurehead with them. They made their bet when they didn't sign Alonso. And as for the Yanks, again, I kind of disagree. Without Judge, I mean, they're down 1 run a game. They're under 500 without him. It's really hard as a Yankee fan to imagine them making a really, really good run without him in the lineup, because the lineup, and Stanton, we don't even talk about him. I mean, Stanton is a factor, obviously. He's still a lethal hitter.
All right, but let me Frank, let me ask you this question. With that in mind, who in the American League right now, as constituted, without Judge, can the Yankees not beat?
Well, you got me there. Okay,
that's my biggest argument here. So I'm not worried about the Dodgers at the moment, okay? I'm worried about there's nobody in the league that's all that good, and when I have a league that is that weak, I have to take advantage of it because it's not often that kind of thing happens.
Okay, so then if Cashman, last year he did an unbelievable job getting bullpen help. I guess we need a little more bullpen this year because the starters, if they can just get all straightened out, Cole has performed well. Cam, obviously, if Free can get back, and Rodon, that's a pretty, to say the least, a really good rotation for a playoff. So,
it is, and
I just hope we can get a couple of relievers.
Appreciate it, Frank.
Can I make one Jet comment?
Go ahead.
I love your optimism. You know, with 3 wins and no interceptions last year by the defense, there is really nowhere to go but up. Their personnel is better, and as a Jet fan, I'm hoping that they could not be 1-4, and the Giants also. Like they go 1-3, 0-4, 1-4, and your season's over at the end of September. Beginning of October. It's very frustrating.
See, this is the thing. Got into this discussion this morning, specifically about the Giants. And we all know Dave is nuts when it comes to the Giants, right? Of course. But the discussion this morning was along the lines of, hey, if the Giants start 1-3, the bloom's off the rose. Well, first of all, it would be incredibly disappointing if the Giants were to start 1-3 when they've got Tennessee and the Cardinals, in addition to the Cowboys and the Rams. You lose the Cowboys, you lose the Rams, you go 0-2, it happens. You lose Tennessee and you lose the Cardinals, and 2 of those games are at home. Those 2 games are at home. No. Like, it would not be good to go 1-3. But how are we all just taking the bloom off the rose for the entirety of the season? Like, we got to just calm down on that front with how that season is going to play out. Every Giant fan out there that is of the opinion that you have your quarterback has to understand that this year is going to be much more about his next step, big development, and maturity than anything else. I don't think he's Mark Sanchez in terms of, making headlines off the field, not getting arrested or anything like that at that time. But, Mark, there were always little things that would pop up, social media things that would pop up, hanging out shirtless, drinking, girls, the whole bit. It's probably unfair to Jackson Dart. I'll freely admit this. I hate the fact that, like, he and Scatterboo are as tight as can be, because it doesn't feel like there's a ton of maturity between the two of them. Now, you have the right head coach in place to help show or to help establish some maturity in younger players. You do. If anybody's going to do it, John Harbaugh is going to do it. But at this point, with that being the case, how exactly can I trust that it's going to happen 100%? Dart said all the right things in the spring. Can he stay away from taking hits? Scatterboo just continues to do silly things. And I don't think Scatterboo is going to be a long-term part of the Giants, the way his mentality is. You're a physical running back to begin with, and that takes enough of its toll. And then you add in all of the other stuff with an injury that you're getting involved in. It's just, you don't know what you're doing. David and Elizabeth is up next. What's up, D? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, my brother? You know what's so great? We have a sports buffet, and me and my fat friend, we about to dig in. Oh, yeah. So, all right, let's get straight into it. So, look, this is what I want to say on the Yankee point real quick. I'm in lockstep with Jake Asman. And the reason I say that is because of this. Real quick, they're always talking about, the prospects, the kids. Volpe, didn't work out. No disrespect. Shout out to him, Jersey guy. Didn't work out so well. The next guy, Spencer Jones. He's a strikeout machine. You think I'm up there trying to hit dingers, which you know I can't. Now, last but not least, the Holy Grail himself, George Lombard Jr. The only evidence I have that he's supposed to be who people say he's supposed to be is I asked Michael at the Beach Bash, and he was like, yo, Dave, I'm going to be honest with you. Yo, he's really who people say he is, and he's untouchable right now with the organization. I believe Michael, because when Michael says something, not for nothing, it's factual.
Yeah.
So that's the only point I have with that. And what I'm saying that I'm in lockstep with Jake is this. I would get rid of these prospects because the Yankees, not for nothing, like roster-wise, they're about two consistent pieces away if Judge comes back healthy, at least. Think about it. A consistent bat and one more decent pitcher. You got Murderers Row with the pitchers, and, once the Yankees are hitting, they're hitting. You can't stop them. And I'm not a Yankee hater. You know I'm a Met guy.
No, I know.
It's just factual. So that would be my play if I was the Yankees. That would take him over the top. And my only, I just want to say this, my last point with the Jets, I want to say this, Chef, because I love what you're saying, and right now, you talking football makes me want to watch football right now.
I know.
Aaron Glenn, I just want to say this. Either you're going to coach the team or you're going to get out the way and let somebody else do it. They got 3 first-round draft picks, a ton of money, capital coming in. Like, bro, either you're going to get it right or let somebody else do the job. That's the only thing we can say with that because he's got pieces now. There's going to be no excuses. And I think for him to hold his job, he's got to win bar 8 games. And that 8 games, I'm still thinking about it. Like, you do the first year, the second year, 8 games, this is still kind of a failure. If you'd have won maybe 9 or better, now we could talk about something because a few more games, you'd be in the postseason. Appreciate you, Chef.
All right, appreciate it, D. Listen, I'm at a point here. If the Jets won 7 or 8 games, then my whole mentality is completely changed, and I'm feeling a whole lot better about where it's all headed. That's a big, big if. I am optimistic, and I am itching for football right now. We all are. And we're going to start getting training camp, and then we'll get into the middle of training camp. You'll get to the point of, I need games. I need real games. I need it all to begin. We're not that far away from it. I do think there's a little more reason to be optimistic in Florham Park than there has been in a while. I can't believe I'm trying to tell myself that I'm not talking myself into that in just a mid-July bit. But there's reason. There's reason to be more optimistic. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Rick doesn't have a primary care doctor. I don't think Alan does either.
That doesn't make it any better for you.
I actually think we use the same pediatrician.
Alan's in his mid-50s.
If you met this pediatrician, you would get rid of your primary care physician and use my pediatrician. He's that good.
Do you know what the definition of pediatrician is?
Doesn't matter.
He's not equipped at the spleen.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You walk out with a lollipop?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper, so knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
This is the Ty Butler Show.
Judge, I'm trying to be hopeful about his injury status, but even if he does come back, I am going to be concerned about how a man who was out for 3 months all of a sudden is going to play the next 2 months, being one swing away from re-injuring that rib.
The Ty Butler Show. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app. ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. Bart Scott.
What the hell?
Chris Carlin.
Take a hike. We're good.
This is Bart and Carlin.
Buckle your chin strap. We about to bang.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
I didn't mean for this to happen. Hopefully it's not distracting for any of you out there on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. I'm wearing what you would call a softer type summerish shirt, short sleeve. You know, being from Jersey, you might look at me and think maybe he's going to go carry out a hit afterward or something like that. No, not really. I don't think this really looks too mobbish, but the problem is, and Tom, I'll allow you to address this, and I think the camera angle is paying off for this. I have noticed throughout the course of the morning that, well, let's just say what it is. My nipples are particularly pronounced in this shirt. Tom, your thoughts? It's okay, Tom. We're only talking about my nipples, nobody else's nipples.
No.
I will not send you to HR. I'm asking you directly a direct question about my nipples. Are my nipples entirely too pronounced in this shirt? Because, frankly, I'm not going to lie. Right now, the headlights are on. Okay? That's what's going on here. It's a little chilly inside, and, not all that hot outside, and somehow this is what's going on. And this shirt shows off my rack, if you will.
Well, first of all, I admire your bravery and honesty in bringing this topic to light. As far as your nipples go, I haven't noticed that, to be completely honest.
That clipped, just as far as your nipples go.
Yeah.
Julian, if you could clip that, I'd appreciate it. I'm sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until you mentioned it, and now I'm...
Tom, it's okay. You can lie. You can tell me the truth.
Here's the thing.
Because I said to my boss, our boss, John Winthrop, this morning, look, if they're right out there. Listen, if pencil erasers here, and this is a problem.
Listen, you're letting them fly, and that's perfectly fine. Like, we're allowed to do this here. I don't think there's any shame in that. But I hadn't noticed it until you brought it to attention, and now I keep trying to look back.
Well, they brought it to attention.
And now I'm trying to look back at the camera, trying to see if I can notice it.
Well, you can't. Here's the thing. You've got the camera angled on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. By all means, please stop by and check out my nipples if you want to. As they are in the shot, they're not exactly being shown in the shot.
Exactly, because the computer blocks them.
So, here's my question. Do we need to give the people a show? I mean, it's the middle of July.
Well, I mean, listen.
I can boost my chair up a little bit here.
Here we go.
Try to.
Stalling on the radio.
No, I just can't. Here's the problem. Like, even if the chair is set on its highest, my fat ass is putting that down low. So I'd need an extra, little cushion to be sitting on or something.
See, I think the lighting actually helps you as well, because the lighting in studio kind of makes, at least from my vantage point, it makes things a little bit brighter. So I might not notice as much. But when you did stand, I mean, listen, there was a little show going on.
Yeah. All right, let's stand up for a second.
Oh, boy.
Julian, can you see my nipples? Is that a problem? Is that distracting?
It's hard to tell. I mean, I was watching the stream, the Zapruder film, but I didn't really see anything.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, they're showing a little bit.
All right, so, Tom, let's put this on the poll. Are Carlin's nipples too pronounced in that shirt? That's a poll for right now on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. You can go there right now, and you can check out what this whole situation is. Because I'm going to a dinner later. I'll be honest. I'm going to a dinner later that involves some old friends from WFAN that all worked there back in the day, and I haven't seen in a while. And I just know that the second I walk in, headlights are on, huh, big fella? I know I'm getting that. But, Tom, as I stood up there, it didn't look like it was. Oh, there it was. I guess it just depends on the angle. It didn't look as bad for a minute, and then I said, oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, once you see the angle, you get a little show.
You got needles jumping out. Anyway, you're welcome. 800-919-3776. Cold in the studio, Carlin. That's what 461 Yaya has to say. Yaya's. Well, there you go. Carlin needs pasties. Afraid he was about to pull down his pants. No, nobody's going to be doing that. Big time beef stew. Need a crane. Thank you. Thanks very much, bud. So the poll that is up on the ESPN New York YouTube page: are Carlin's nipples too pronounced in the shirt that he is currently wearing? Hot damn stew. That's what Haywood Wong says. More rolls than a bakery. Oh, I love the YouTube chat.
I think we're going to have to play Rollin' by Limp Bizkit coming back now.
Oh, my God. I wanted to get to some other stuff involving the Knicks here in just a little bit. And what we're looking at for next year, I know it's crazy to even we're basking still in the glow of a championship. But you do start to think about what the odds and everything are going to look like for next season and a chance to win potentially again. In an East that's being reshaped but is not yet close to being settled, given the fact that we continue to wait on LeBron. Rich Paul, by the way, letting us know that, there's no timetable. We'll just sit tight. We'll get to you. Don't worry about it. In the meantime, though, I want to get back to the calls at 800-919-3776. Warren is out in Vegas, and he joins us on ESPN New York. Warren, what's up, baby?
Hey, hi, how are you? I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you so much.
Warren, right now I'm a little bit upset with the fact that the ESPN New York YouTube numbers have not skyrocketed with the possibility of seeing my nipples. But anyway, please have the floor. It's all yours.
I'm too old to get too jacked up about that.
That's fair. Fair. Yeah, I don't think age has something to do with it, but that's all good. What do you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. Don was talking before about Cashman, about the trade deadline. Now, look, I said this on Michael Kay show. I've been a Yankee fan for 75 years plus. This guy, Cashman, he's living off past glory. I mean, to me, he would have been long gone. Boone would have been long gone. That's besides the point. You keep talking about these prospects in the minors. And then Michael Kay has brought up Judge and Warren and whatever. That was then. Now, who do they got? They got this other guy, the marginal at best, a 220 hitter. They don't do anything. He thinks, the American League is terrible. I know that. We all know that. So their concept is, and it's terrible to say this, they want to get in the playoffs, and that's all they care about. They have no offense to speak of. And then they say, when Judge comes back. But let me ask you something. One guy is hurt, Judge and Stanton. What happened to the rest of these guys? Did they show up? No, except maybe Goldschmidt a little bit. So in my mind, that they're gonna like you're right. Don's right. They're just gonna not even do anything. I mean, how brilliant was it to have two left-handed catchers between them? They're batting about 250 if you combine their batting average.
If you put them together, yes, it's 250.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's ridiculous. You take the bottom of that order, and it's an automatic out. And then I know I'm ranting and raving here, but then Cashman Day says some guys are untouchable. Volpe was untouchable. Yeah.
Now, listen, Warren. You can go down the list. We can talk about Judge and we can talk about Warren. That's fine, but we can also talk about all those other guys. Volpe and Dominguez, all those guys who didn't pan out. What's the hit rate? It's not great. And it's not just the Yankees. It's across baseball. Like the prospects that turn into great players, it's probably a 30 to 35% hit rate of the guys that are massive prospects and you expect them to be big-time players and they're called untouchable in trades and all that, and the ones that actually pan out. And too many times in the past, like people will bring up when Jeff Bagwell as a prospect was traded for Larry Anderson. And that was just a marginal right-handed reliever. There's a lot more trades of the guys that were supposed to be big-time offensive players or big-time players, period, that don't pan out after they get moved at the deadline than the ones that do. A lot more. Where am I on Lombard? I can't sit here and tell you I've seen the guy play every day. I can't sit here and tell you I know he's going to be a star. I tend not to believe a lot of the Yankee hype machine because I would really contend that over the years, there has not been an organization that has been better at hyping prospects than the New York Yankees. In terms of what they are hoping guys could be, but really more for hyping them up to get them in trade or to get them moved out in trades to get better players. There really have not been many. Like, I'm thinking about guys that got moved over the years. Like, I remember a guy in Texas named Justin Smoke, who was supposed to be an unbelievable player. And in 2010, Texas traded him away to get Cliff Lee. And nobody could believe it because he was just a rental. And Cliff Lee ended up signing somewhere else. Justin Smoke turned into nothing. Jared Kelenic, nothing. There have been Jesus Montero, nothing. There have been so many of these guys over the years that don't pan out. And I know that I have to treat my prospects with a great deal of respect when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the future. And when I'm trying to figure out who I think can really pan out and who won't. I have to, at the very least, pump them up for other people to have interest. But when it comes to Lombard, I don't have the great answer. If you tell me that you can get a great player, somebody who's a true difference maker down the stretch of the year for George Lombard, then I'm doing it. But who is that guy? Like, I'm not doing it for a decent right-handed hitting catcher. I don't even know if it got to the point in the next few weeks where the Tigers actually fell back, and they've played a whole lot better over the last month. And again, a bad American League. I don't even know if I would do that for Skubal, just given what the Yankees have. But I might, because I still do have Fried and Rodon hurt. I might try to beat you a different way. I can't have my mind closed to everything. I can say right now that guys are untouchable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be. Cullum in the Bronx is next on ESPN New York. Cullum, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I've been nonstop working for transit with the World Cup, working probably like 3 days
what's that
off in
been
the last
like?
45 days.
I mean, talk to me how crazy has it been on those days? Because all the reports that we got was that it was nowhere near what they were expecting as far as people that were going to be taking the train back and forth.
I would definitely say there's nowhere near the numbers that were expected, but everything that they planned and prepared for to do, they still did all those things in preparation with, I feel bad for the regular people that were coming in and out of New York Penn Station because they shut all that down. So all of that stuff from my end, from my job, whether there's 2 people on the train or 2,000, I'm still doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
no, I get it.
But overall, I mean, the show you just gave us, Stand It Up, I'm listening on the radio on my way to work right now, and that brightened up my day. I'd have to say that made me happy. That's going to get me through the next 10 hours at work right now.
See that right? I don't know whether I should be flattered by that or troubled by that. That my nipples are going to get you through your day.
You take it how you want it.
I will take it as a compliment.
All right, fair enough. But the comments a lot with the Yankee situation. I keep it simple. It's been 14 years with these playoff runs, and very, very few times where I could sit back and say, man, the pitching is the reason why we failed, or that. Like, there's so many instances where the pitching is enough, and in a full-time playoffs, you're going to have a game where the pitchers give up 5 or 6 runs and not have a bad night, but you should still have an occasional time where the offense gives you 7 and you win those bad pitching performances. The Yankees gotta go get hitters, and I don't give a damn about these prospects. Personally, to me, I see enough prospects in the league. You see guys that after a year or 2 of the minor leagues that they come out and they show it. People show it immediately. You rarely see a guy that's like 4 or 5 years and then comes in and takes a while and then all of a sudden pops off. The only one I can think of in the last 15 years is Aaron Judge, and that he seems like a mythical creature at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't need these prospects, and we're overloaded.
I need things that are givens.
In outfield.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I need things that are definites. Things that are givens. And nothing's a definite in this world, but you understand what I'm saying. I don't need guys who might be. I need guys who are. Now, again, that doesn't mean I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. I'm not going and trading away George Lombard if it's not for a big-time player. But I'm also not letting him keep me from getting a big-time player. I can't do that. I can't do that. Because then I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face. And there are going to be times where you're going to trade somebody and they're going to turn out to be a star somewhere else. That's going to happen. That's part of the deal. But when you're Cashman, like, how much more security do you need? You don't need any more. You can go do whatever the hell you want. Honestly, if Brian Cashman, with what has transpired over the last 25 years, was standing outside Yankee Stadium and the stadium was burned to the ground and he had a pack of matches and a can of gasoline in his hand and he said, I didn't do it, the Steinbretters would believe him. And they'd give him a contract extension. We know this. So stop beating your head up against the wall about whether or not the GM is going to get his extension, or whether or not the GM, not whether or not he's going to get his extension, whether or not the GM's going to get fired, because more likely he'll get another extension. 800-919-3776. A couple of more of the comments from the YouTube chat. Let's see here. Primo Sabe, Carlin been working out? Not really. Again, shirt just a little snug, a little more form-fitting, as they say. Chat loves you, Carlin. That's great. And then here's Richard Nels. I don't know how to say, the nicknames in the chat. I just can't deal with sometimes. But this thing, Richard Ignells. I don't know. Anyway, Richard says, quote, just wear a T-shirt, dude. Here's the thing, Richard. You would think that would be simple enough. Just wear a T-shirt, and that will take care of the nipple problem. But that's not exactly true. Because some of us, Richard, are dealing with .22 caliber, and some of us are dealing with a .45. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the protruding nipples. So this thing would go through basically a flak jacket. You would see them through that. That's how cold it is in here, I guess, and why it's an issue today. And again, I appreciate all the support when it comes to the nipple talk, but in the end, there's nothing we can do about it except stare. Bart and Carlin, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I want to spend a few minutes here on the Knicks and Jalen Brunson. So Jalen Brunson did an interview with Variety. He has been doing all the interviews, as we know. What Jalen has talked about quite a bit, has been enjoying all of what this has been, but then you think about what the future is. And there's always this thought. Whenever a particular type of team wins the championship, are teams going to start to try to copycat them? Or has it broken the mold for the league? And so Jalen was asked by Variety, did the Knicks break the NBA? Why is this not firing? Let me get this to fire.
I feel like everything's heightened because of, obviously, yes, we did win. I feel like this is kind of, every so often there's like an offseason where a lot of changes are made. And so this is just one of those off seasons where people are making moves and just trying to get better. I think no matter what, teams every offseason are figuring out how to get better. Even the teams that win, like you got to figure out how you're going to improve as a team. And so break the NBA, no. But I think obviously our road is going to be a lot more difficult now because that we won, and obviously teams have also gotten better.
Teams have gotten better. Teams have gotten better. Kawhi Leonard's going to be with the Raptors. We've seen what's happened with the Sixers and Jaylen Brown. They're the only team to me that has gotten markedly better where I would consider them a true threat. So I'm going to put this question to you, and I want you to start really thinking about it. What is the biggest obstacle to the Knicks getting back to the finals again? Is it another team? Is it injuries? Is it the Knicks themselves? As I have started to consider this, I've thought about two things in particular. Number one, the good fortune that was involved. And no, I'm not saying the Knicks were lucky. They went on a dominant postseason run. Where they were fortunate was their ability to stay as healthy as they did throughout the end of the regular season and the playoffs. even without OG, able to navigate this for some games and win some games without him. Their ability to stay that healthy really aided them to get to where they did. That was everything to me. And this is not a team that is in its low to mid-20s like the Thunder are, so to speak. This is a team that's more in its late 20s to early 30s. So when you play this late into the year, almost to July, and you're a team that is a little bit older, not old, but a little bit older, how is that going to affect you the following season? Is there going to be a lingering tired factor to it? I think it's a fair question. And it's not just because of playing that late into the year, but it's frankly also everything that comes with it. All the celebrations that come with it, all the attention that comes with it. Like, these guys are right now striking while the iron's hot, and that's what they have to do. When you're players on a championship team and you have just done something in the biggest market in the world that hasn't been done in 53 years for an iconic organization, the money be flowing. It's all out there for you to go and get. This is an offseason where you cash in. Jordan Clarkson's having a nice payday this offseason, guys. Like, guys who were members of that championship team are making money, and they should be out there doing it. Hand over fist, because this is the opportunity to go and get it. You don't know when that comes. Jalen Brunson's always going to have his chances to make money. Cat, always going to have his chances to make money. But when you look at these other guys, when you look at Josh Hart, when you look at people like that, those opportunities are not always going to be there, so you have to take advantage of them when they come. So that can add to the fatigue that can build up more during the offseason when you don't get the rest that is necessary. And that, for me, is really my biggest concern. It's not even the Sixers right now. Sixers might be a hungry group, and when you get Jalen Brown, I'm not even talking about if LeBron goes there, like whatever with LeBron at this point. Wherever he goes, he goes. But Jalen Brown going to the Sixers, well, they obviously have taken a major step forward, and the Celtics have taken a major step back. Now, while they might be the best team to challenge the Knicks, I think the thing that challenges the Knicks the most is actually just trying to bounce back from this season. Now, good news is they did not play the maximum amount of games. They only lost 3 games in the entire postseason. So that is something that certainly helps. You did it with not minimal effort, but let's just say as little amount of exertion as you can possibly have. You didn't play 3 7-game series. That goes a long, long way. But then when you do win the championship and you celebrate and you spend weeks celebrating it and getting your opportunities to make the money, then all of a sudden you're going to blink. It's going to be September, and then you got to start thinking about training camp. And when you're a team that's not in your early 20s or mid-20s, you're in your later 20s, early 30s, that's going to make a difference. I think that's the biggest thing that lies in front of them. Not the Knicks themselves per se, but the ability to stay healthy, because they were certainly able to do that this year. And when you're worn down, that's going to play a bigger factor next year. You're worn down, you're more likely to get hurt. But also their ability to level off their fatigue. You're going to see, even with the depth that they had this year, you're going to see a lot more load management next year with the Knicks. Mark my words. Bart and Carlin, 800-919-3776. We've got coming up some audio files. Tom didn't know that. He knows that now because I just said it. That's right. Because it's 11:30. I looked up at the clock, and we're coming up on 11:30. We'll do some audio files. We'll, some shenanigans last night in the Yankee game. We'll get to that toward the end as well. We'll hear from Carlos Beltran. Maybe we'll hear a little more from Jalen Brunson. Maybe we'll hear from, Tom. You never know. That could happen. Actually, Tom Bauer shows up in the middle of audio files, not even what he's really saying.
Big friend.
Yeah, that could happen at any moment. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino and Associates. Did you know Social Security takes money out of every paycheck you earn, paycheck after paycheck, and you're not supposed to touch that money until you're 67? What if you can't work? What if you need that money now? The system is challenging and most people get denied. That's a fact. D'Agostino and Associates has the experience to win, and we win a lot. If you filed for Social Security disability benefits and were denied, let us appeal. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. Bite Back means fight back. 1-800-248-3222. We'll fight to get you paid. D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and handles Social Security disability claims and appeals. Remember, if you've been denied, call us first. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino and Associates. We win a lot.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit TriconBuilds.com. That's TriconBuilds.com.
Fans arrive early at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, August 8th for the 78th Annual Old Timers Day presented by Fresh Direct. See Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. After the Old Timers Day ceremony and game conclude, stick around to see your Bronx Bombers take on Atlanta. Get your Saturday, August 8th Old Timers Day tickets presented by Fresh Direct at Yankees.com/tickets today.
Kenny here to tell you about the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion. A zero sugar treat that's Sweet Tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Well, it sounds like rolling.
This is Rolling by Limp Bizkit?
I'm assuming this is an instrumental version because they say a lot of naughty words in the song.
Well, I know that, but it didn't sound like that at the beginning. Does it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
There's
we go.
Fred. There's Fred.
As a new metal purist, I enjoy hearing the I enjoy hearing the Limp Bizkit.
But all this is going to do is make you think about my nipples for the rest of your life, Tom. Whenever you hear this song, you're going to think about my nipples.
Well, listen, is that really a bad thing?
By the way, this is a heated debate in the chat right now. As I look at the votes and the poll in the ESPN New York chat, the question was posed, are Carlin's nipples too pronounced in the shirt he's wearing today? Right now, 52-48, no. 52-48, no. I'm going to stand up. You can go to the ESPN New York YouTube channel right now, and I'll stand up. Maybe I'll even stand up for this segment. And I won't do any enhancement of them, but I'll let you decide.
As far as your nipples go.
Yeah.
No, we're just making it known that that's a drop now.
That was a drop. That's right. I thought you were actually going to make a point about my nipples.
Oh, no. I'm just enjoying this.
As far as your nipples go, I'm just enjoying this. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York. So you can go and you can vote at the ESPN New York YouTube channel right now. Right now, it's dead down the middle, 50-50. Some people like what they're seeing. That's all I'm going to say. Say it's not too much. Audio files. Let's go.
The audio file.
All right, Tom, you're here. How about a little audio files? Let's have at it.
All right, let's try and enjoy some audio. So we started off with a little Carlos Beltran, a little bit of Carlos Beltran at the start of the show, asked about the managerial position of the New York Mets. So let's hear from Carlos. You know what? Let's hear from Carlos. I'm the king at these transitions.
You are.
I
tell
am
you what,
swinging
not
at
enough
1,000 this
O's
week.
And smooth the way you set this audio up.
Oh my! I'm just going to start playing the audio.
Yeah, how about that?
Because words are not good right now. Carlos Beltran, he confirmed he had conversations regarding the job. That's very unfortunate that that's not playing right now. Hang on.
Carlos is a great human being. I love being around him. I felt, and I told him, and he can tell you about it. I told him that, one of the reasons why I wanted to be close to him was because I wanted to support him as much as I could with experiences of, dealing with situations in the clubhouse, the players. Baseball for me is a passion, no doubt about that. And yes, I had conversations with, few people within the organization. And I don't know, I just didn't feel was the right thing for me to do.
Look, as far as, and we'll play more of Carlos in a second. I admire what he's saying there. I think that's only part of the story, though. I don't think that's the entire story. It would also be awkward for him to take the job and then be in a position where he would be going into the Hall of Fame in a few weeks and having to step away for probably 4 or 5 days at that point to do all of that, too. I wouldn't hate it if in the second half of the year, he did go and play, or he did go and manage the Mets just to get some games under his belt to see what the role's like. Anyway, go ahead.
So before I play some more Carlos, here's some food for thought, and here's something that interesting that the Mets can do. Because, sometimes they're about show. Remember when they brought in Timmy Trumpets for Edwin Diaz? Well, what if at the Mets Hall of Fame, at the Hall of Fame announcement, the Mets announce, Carlos Beltran, you are now the Mets manager. And he does it the rest of the way. Do it right at the announcement, get an even bigger round of applause.
No.
Who says no?
No.
No?
No.
No.
No, you don't do that at Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame. You support, you celebrate who you were as a player. Now, if they wanted to say, like if they said in early August, Carlos is our manager, and they worked out a deal, and Carlos is going to manage the rest of the year, I actually think people might get excited about that a little bit. It might perk some people up, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to where he goes into spring training. At the very least, he's got a couple of months under his belt of having done it before. That's all. That's all. I don't think that's wrong. But what you're doing is like, now you're just slapping the Hall of Fame in the face.
Well, listen. So, at any rate, Carlos.
That was not the drop.
No, that wasn't the drop.
That was you.
That was me again. Words are... It's a rough week for Tom Bauer. What would being a manager mean to you, Carlos?
Having the opportunity to manage, I would say that's probably is in my bucket list. But now I work as an advisor to the organization, and I love the work that I do because it gives me the opportunity to be around the people that are making important decisions. It allows me to give my perspective on situation, players, strategies, or whatever comes when it's related to winning. So yes, I understand that my name have been mentioned about being a manager and all that, and I'm proud of that.
Listen, I think Beltran, they obviously thought highly of him a few years ago, and then once the whole scandal broke with the Astros, you had to, and his role in that, you had to get him out of there. There was no way to get away from it. Now, if you want to turn in that direction again, you certainly can. Beltran, I think, would be a very good choice. My number one choice is Alex Cora. I would go Cora 1, I would go Beltran 2, I would go Pujols 3rd. And I'm not even 100% convinced on Pujols, but that's just me. Anyway, next.
All right, so let's move on to the Yankees a little bit here. So it's been a big 2 days for Jazz Chisholm. 3 home runs in the past 2 games, including 2 from last night. I mean, this is what he said the other day about his season so far.
Sucked. I sucked all season.
And why?
Numbers speak for themselves.
Numbers speak for themselves. Well, the numbers are starting to turn around in Jazz Chisholm's favor. Do you think you've been turning a corner recently, Jazz?
I just want to win. Honestly, that's all I'm feeling. Like, I'm going up there and trying to just help my team win. Like, I'm be honest with you, the first at bat, I wasn't trying to hit a home run. I was just trying to hit a fly ball to the outfield, get the run in, and it happened to just go out.
And are you putting any sort of pressure on yourself now?
I would say that, you know, I'm not the same kind of player as Judge, so, me going out there trying to help our team win in any way I can, I feel like I was trying to overdo it, losing or something, trying to hit a 5-run home run with nobody on base, just small things like that. And I feel like us coming together and talking about certain stuff and realizing that we do this as a team and everybody just played their game because none of us is Aaron Judge, So, yeah, I feel like that helped a lot.
A lot of Aaron Judge mentioned there.
So here's the question. At this point, why has Jazz Chisholm never made his home run celebration jazz hands? Why has that never happened, Tom?
That's the first question you're going to ask.
That's my first question because it's been haunting me all morning long.
Well,
I've been since seeing the 2 home runs last night. All I could think of is it'll be really cool, and he does like a different kind of celebration. He kind of spins around, does his bit, all that. Jazz hands. As soon as the ball goes out of the park and he's headed to first base.
Yes.
That should be it.
Yeah, see.
How has that not happened?
See, no, that's too simple for Jazz because Jazz is a man of class and a man of sophistication and a man who wants to kind of...
Are you trying to tell me Jazz hands are not classy and sophisticated?
They are, but they're too simple because his name is Jazz. Like, if we're going to get at each other for doing the easiest thing possible and not putting any more thought and creativity into it, then what are we doing here? That's too simple for Jazz. But back to him putting a lot of pressure on himself.
Jazz hands.
Yeah. It's a perfect time for him to actually turn this around and not have the pressure be on him. And he mentioned Aaron Judge a whole lot there. Like, I'm not Aaron Judge. We're not Aaron Judge. Well, somebody's going to have to step up and be the leader that Aaron Judge is in that lineup, and hopefully he can be the prime candidate to do that. They really, really, really need him to start having some fun.
Look, I'm not comfortable having him be the centerpiece. I'm really not, because there are too many of the knucklehead things that go with this, the getting picked off, the, defensive miscues, things like that. I don't feel like when Judge talks about us as a team, the Yankees, having a little lack of focus when they were struggling, I don't think the answer there is Jazz Chisholm. Like, he doesn't strike me as the guy that you want to be the North Star of that locker room when Judge isn't there. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he's not you want somebody who's stoic and just kind of plays it straight all the time. And that's not Jazz.
He's not a 1A is what you're saying.
He's what?
He's not a 1A is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying he's more about the flair. He's a very good player, but it's not the personality that I want to be the one who's going to be carrying me. I don't think he can be that guy.
At least not yet. Maybe he can ease.
I think you're being optimistic if you think that's going to happen.
Oh, listen, I'm a Yankee fan, so what do you want from me?
Yeah, delusional at times.
Exactly.
Not all Yankee fans are, just you.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, let's play some more Jalen Brunson from his interview with Variety. So we knew about the injury that he suffered that Allen brought up and got out of Jalen during his hit with Don Hahn and Rosenberg last week, where he said I was playing through wrist pain. So, Jalen, what exactly is the injury, and do you have a timetable yet?
My tendon and my structure of my wrist is fine. There was soft tissue that was holding my tendon. It kept like flipping and snapping over the bone every time I shot, every time I flicked my wrist. And so clearly it was causing pain, causing friction. And so, but I was obviously able to play through it. I'll be in this for about another 6 weeks. And then from that point on, it's just my rehab after that. But I should be good.
He'll be back by the start of the season.
I'm not worried. At least.
No.
And even if he did, let's be honest. If Jalen missed the first month and a half, is anybody really sweating? Like, you tell me Jalen's out for next year, I could still celebrate the championship. No offense to Jalen. I obviously don't want that to be the case. But, like, it's amazing how that just melts all your other problems away, all your other concerns away.
Listen, winning changes everything.
No doubt.
It eases things here. And Jalen, while we're on the subject of winning, how confident are you that the Knicks can run it back?
I will always have confidence in myself and my team. Not because we won, because I know the type of character guys that we have. I know how hard my team works. I know how hard I work. I know what our mindset is. Our mindset is just to get better every single day. And so even though, yes, we did win this past year, but going forward, that literally means nothing. So how can we turn that page and figure out that what happened in the past is over with? But we know what works, but obviously the result is over and done with.
Always says the right thing. That's just Jalen Brunson.
I honestly think that as far as being one of the all-time great figures in this city, a singular Knicks championship, I have always felt, would elevate whoever the star player was on that team to be almost immediately on the Mount Rushmore. But I can't even say that definitively, but I could certainly say he's on the Mount Rushmore of Knicks, and I could certainly say that right now he's the number one athlete in this town. Period. End of story. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Also on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Summer in New York just got hotter. Tim McGraw, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. Get lost in the songs you love to sing. With special guests, 49 Winchester. Get ready for a summer show you don't want to miss. Northwell at Jones Beach Theater, Friday, July 24th. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Cadillac Tri-State Concert Series.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
It's summertime, so why are you still living with pain? If you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or nerve pain, don't wait any longer. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Soundwell Pain. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no long recovery, no relying on pain medication. Just non-surgical image-guided treatments that help you get your life back. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted. Help is close. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Feel better this summer, not someday.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah!
Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack?
Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Tuesday with Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Will Chaz Chisholm's recent power surge get the Yankees back on track?
I just want to win. Honestly, that's all I'm feeling. Like, I'm going up there and trying to just help my team win. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, the first at bat, I wasn't trying to hit a home run. I was just trying to hit a fly ball to the outfield, get the run in, and it happened to just go out.
Who will the Mets trade by the deadline? Don Hahn and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York. So if you're following social media, there are a lot of stories out there today about things going on at ESPN. It's obviously a very tough day for a lot of colleagues, and Bart's name is in there. And I'm certainly not at a place that I'm going to speak about Bart and his future. I think it's more appropriate to let Bart do that when he is ready to do that. But, we'll speak more about it. Right now, frankly, it's all just kind of setting in, and there's a lot of things that are still up in the air. So just to not ignore it completely, because that would be somewhat silly on my part for sure, there's not a whole lot more I can say about it at the moment other than, similar to a lot of colleagues, I have been in this position before, and I am thinking of them, and it's not an easy place to be. And if you personally have been there before in your career, you know what it's like. So, but again, there are things up in the air, so I'm not going to speak to Bart and his future at the moment because that just wouldn't be right for me to do before Bart speaks to it. I love him to death. And he is a brother to me and always will be. But again, guys, I would say that there are still things that are very much up in the air on all of it. So I did not want to insult you and just ignore this completely. But, I would say in the last little while, we've started to see his name pop up a little bit out there. I can't really say a whole lot more than that at the moment, as you can imagine. But, he's with me. I love him. And, just for so many people, this is a very tough day. And this is an unfortunate reality across a lot of industries these days, especially ours, if you have seen what it has looked like. 800-919-3776. But I owe you that at the very least to be able to sit there and talk about it for a moment because you guys have been incredible with us the last year and a half, and I can't thank you enough for that. But there'll obviously be more to talk about with the future when it's appropriate. But I'll let Bart speak to what he wants to. 800-919-3776. It is interesting to try to figure out, with even that stuff as the backdrop, it's not easy to transition out of it, but we are talking about other things that are going on in the sports world right now. And one of them is certainly the Knicks and what would lie in front of them to potentially derail them. Dave is in the car. He is next on ESPN New York. Dave, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on. I just think, fatigue and fatigue and perhaps losing a little focus due to all the hoopla that surrounds the team. Really that, if they stay healthy, there's no longer a secret sauce with the Knicks. If they're healthy and these guys condition their bodies right, they're going to be a hard out for everybody. And one of the biggest reasons they'll be a hard out, I was trying to think if maybe there's something going on with the coaches and the players, but Brown has these guys. They've completely bought into him, and they're just going to be a tough out. But obviously injuries, if they start getting nicked up here and there, it's going to be tough to repeat. But outside of that, I think they're up to the challenge.
Listen, it is a phrase of being, you phrase it well, being up to the challenge. I think the ability is there, but you never know how teams are going to handle success beyond winning one. What are they going to be about? Are they going to be a team that all of a sudden becomes very much like dynastic teams that we have seen before? I can't sit here and tell you that.
Let me ask. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the one more thing is I'm looking at the last few teams that have won their championships. It's been a rotisserie, if you will, different teams, right? I don't think anyone in any market anywhere else has gone through the brutality that the Knicks have to get this championship. I think that's going to give them the edge. That last year where Indiana hit that miracle shot in advance, I just think that no other team has had the challenge that the Knicks have had to get to this place, and I think these guys know how special it is. I know I sound like I'm waxing poetic, but
you are.
That's just my thought.
No, I mean, it's not. You sound like waxing poetic. You are waxing poetic. That's okay. I understand the want to do that, but and the belief in them for the future. It is always interesting to see how teams handle success. And I don't expect the Knicks to go in the tank or anything like that. I expect them to be at the very top of the conference next year, as everybody else would at this point. But given where they are in their aging process, a team that's not one we would call super young, that's certainly not Oklahoma City, but not one that's old either, not in their mid-30s, not at the end of the line, how is that all going to work, and how is all of the extra games they played this year, plus just frankly extra involved off seasons? Like, you heard Jalen make the comment yesterday or the day before, like he hasn't even been on vacation really yet. He hasn't left and gotten away from it. There's been too much to do over the last few weeks. And we're a month out from it now at this point. So he has not even really taken a full vacation to just step away and do nothing from it. Here's Moose, Jamaica. Moose, what's going on, bud? How are you?
What's going on, Chris? How are you? Been a while.
What do you got, bud?
So I'd like to discuss what you mentioned about Jazz, about how he's not necessarily the most stoic, the most cerebral in terms of his demeanor. But besides the whole I'm loud, I'm black, and I'm proud, and the patois, rambunctious party nature that he provides 2024, smoking blunts in the clubhouse when they were on their way to the World Series, talking to the press, how we're going to sweep the Dodgers. That may play a little bit into his focus and his grandiose idea of running the show. But as a productive player, the Yankees are being provided the second baseman who leads second baseman in home runs, and that's what the Yankees look for. Not maybe the best strategy all the time, but that's what plays in modern baseball. Even more so, his range at second, an ability to move to third may provide some versatility once Lombard comes up either in September or next season, where Volpe is not necessarily counted on to be the hyped-up prospect to dominate MLB for them so they can move on from him. So my whole thing is Jazz has the rest of the season to make the case to still be a Yankee, whether he's traded for a piece, signed in the offseason back, or kept the whole season and possibly gets that contract with another 25-40 still season, which he's on pace for still, and maybe he can raise his OPS to what he did last year and still be that transformative player that can provide production.
Listen, I think Jazz is a very, very good player, and I understand what you're saying about giving him the rest of the year. And it's not all about loud and everything you were saying at the beginning. It's just about sometimes lackadaisical in some things, sometimes getting picked off, sometimes just not making the right play mentally. Like we're getting thrown out because you're trying to put on a glove a couple of weeks ago in the middle of running, like stuff like that. That's not the guy that you need as the centerpiece. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
ESPN New York. Now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2. New York. Bart Scott.
What the hell?
Chris Carlin.
Take a hike. We're good.
This is Bart and Carlin.
Buckle your chin strap. We about to bang.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
At noon, we are here. Carlin solo. On Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776. He's not here, but that doesn't mean that noon isn't Meaning what, Tom Bauer?
It's the power hour.
That's our guy. For those, just to address it again here for a minute, for those who are just joining us, if you have been following social media today in relation to ESPN and personnel changes that they're making, it's a tough day for an awful lot of our colleagues. And Bart's name has popped up in that over the last little while. Bart's not here today. As far as the specifics of everything, not really my place to get into it. But I'm not going to insult you and not address the situation. I don't want to speak to Bart and his future because Bart should be the one speaking to him and his future. For so many of our colleagues today that find themselves in a difficult position getting a never pleasant phone call or meeting that your life is about to change dramatically. You might think for the moment necessarily in the positive. Allow me to just say this. I've been there. I've been there pretty publicly. It sucks. There's no getting around it when you're in that position. And the last thing that you want is sympathy. I can just say that. Like everybody tells you, hey, it's going to be okay. Yeah, that's great. In the moment, you feel it, and then you move on, and you find out what's next, and you get excited about what's next. Now, again, when it comes to Bart specifically, I'm not going to speak to him and his situation because he has not spoken about it. There are stories out there if you're following on social media, so I did not want to ignore it, obviously. But at the same time, there are still a lot of things up in the air. So who knows what's going to be transpiring. All I can tell you is for my colleagues who are having a very difficult day, it is a day. And it is a tough few days that follows it. You get through it, and then you figure out what's next, and you start to get excited about that. But, man, you're going to feel it, that's for sure. And I am certainly with them, having experienced it myself, and it is not a great thing to go through. So just thinking about all those people today who are having to deal with this unfortunate reality in not just our business, but you see it across all businesses now. It's just an unfortunate reality in media, in really society. Bart's my brother. I love him. And whatever he needs, I will absolutely be there for him in whichever way that I can. And however his situation is going to work out, again, I don't know the entirety of his situation, and I will let him speak to that. Anyway, we have spent a lot of the time today in terms of what we've been doing with the sports aspect of this, getting into a lot with the Mets, a lot with the Yankees, a lot with the Jets in particular. We even got into the Knicks a little bit. But I'll go back to the beginning of the show when we started talking about what the most important aspects are in the future of the New York Mets, because I can't sit here and speak to anything going on the field right now. I can only bring myself to barely watch the games right now. I'm just being honest, guys, and I feel like a lot of you probably feel the same way. It's my job to watch them, and it's not easy, and it's so dumb for me to even say that. My job is to watch baseball. And they're not making that easy at all. It is not pleasant to watch in the least right now. So I will choose to ignore what's happening on the field. I'll choose to ignore that Carson Bench was not in the lineup last night against Jacob Misiorowski. I'll choose to ignore that they couldn't have hit Misiorowski last night with one of those giant red fat wiffle bats if they tried to over the minimally 4 innings that he pitched. I will choose to ignore what's gone on with Freddie Peralta and his batting average or his ERA. Well, frankly, looking like more of a little league batting average. More like a 6 and 7 ERA over the last month and a half, 2 months of starts, if not more. He has been terrible all season long. Last night, got a warm welcome in Milwaukee, and good for him. Got a great career in Milwaukee. In New York, he's been awful. And the Mets traded 2 of their top prospects for him. David Stearns thought he knew the player, thought he knew what he was doing and what he was getting, was comfortable in doing it, and Brandon Sproat will pitch tonight for the Brewers, and he has not exactly had a great year, but you know what's coming. You know what's coming. So, with all of that as your backdrop, crappy baseball, what does it look like from there? Here's what I would say. You can talk all you want about the trade deadline and who they might move and who they might not. I don't think Lindor's going to get moved by the deadline, nor do I think he should. I think this is a situation with Lindor and Soto that has got to get figured out, and that would be a much better solution than just moving on from one of them. It would be a much better solution to try to bring 2 guys together, not as best friends, but at least in a functional situation. And it might be functional enough right now, but whatever that is, we got to get past it. And that's why I say this, and this is crazy in this day and age. But to me, the single most important move that the Mets are going to make in the coming 6 months is going to be who is managing the team. It's not going to be necessarily who's going to be on the team. And the reason I say that is David Stearns is going to be here, barring a late change of the mind by Steve Cohen. He's going to be here at the very least for next season or into next season. May not be all 5 years, like Cohen says, but at the very least, I'm not paying the guy for 3 years of work and then 2 years of vacation. I want him, as the genius that he is, to go and fix this. So go fix it. You might say you might not trust him to fix it. I understand that completely because everything he's done has been completely wrong. Maybe he pulls the Costanza and just goes with the opposite. Whatever your instinct is, do the exact opposite, and that must be right. If all of your instincts are wrong, the opposite must be correct. So, what does this all mean? What it means is in hiring a manager, which is so thought of as something not important at all in baseball now, regarded that way. In this particular case, the Mets are set up to be the anomaly. The Mets are set up to be the team that needs a strong manager when you have these 2 large personalities in your room, and they're the leaders of this team. Now, Soto, I heard Ty say this yesterday. I have said this for quite some time. Soto is Kevin Durant. Soto wants you to think that he wants to be the leader or that he is the leader or wants himself to believe that he is the leader, but really doesn't want to do the things that are associated with being the leader. That's why the Yankees were such a perfect situation for him. He could walk in, and he had Judge there to handle all that immediately. That's why when A-Rod joined the Yankees, even though he and Jeter hated each other, it was already Jeter's team. So there was really no discussion about it. So with Soto, he is a Durant-type figure in that he might want to be kind of the Pied Piper leading everybody, but doesn't really want to do the things that are associated with it. So it's got to be up to somebody else. So if that somebody else is going to be Francisco Lindor, well, there has to be a buy-in across the board. And these 2 don't have to be the best of friends. What we do need is a manager who has got some, how do we phrase it? Oh, I don't know. Credibility. You need somebody that has credibility as a former player. You need somebody that has credibility as a leader. So when we talk about names like Carlos Beltran, like Albert Pujols, you know why they come up. Beltran addressed the fact that he has already had conversations about being the Mets manager and why, in fact, he has not already become the Mets manager. He had comments yesterday on a conference call in relation to his induction into the Hall of Fame coming up.
Carlos is a great human being. I love being around him. I felt, and I told him, and he can tell you about it. I told him that, one of the reasons why I wanted to be close to him was because I wanted to support him as much as I could with experiences of, dealing with situations in the clubhouse, the players. Baseball for me is a passion, no doubt about that. And yes, I had conversations with, few people within the organization. And I don't know, I just didn't feel it was the right thing for me to do.
So you can understand that if he's being respectful of Carlos Mendoza. I think that's probably part of it. I don't think it's the entirety of it. Probably another little part of it was he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it would have been awkward to leave the team for 4 and 5 days with everything that's involved in that. And probably part of it is that he wants to start fresh. I actually think that if Beltran is definitively your guy, making him the manager after the Hall of Fame for the last 2 months of the season is not the worst thing in the world. Like, maybe I can just get him an opportunity to get his feet wet and see what it's like to manage games and to be in the big chair going into the offseason so that you can start to navigate with a little more institutional knowledge of what it's like. But if Beltran's that guy, he walks into that room that has Soto and that has Lindor in it, and he immediately carries with him credibility. Credibility as being a superstar player. Credibility as being someone that has had success in this city and has seen what winning looks like. So if anybody's going to be able to have the conversation with those two players that, guys, we need to figure out how to get the two of you on the same page to get us toward winning. You don't need to be best friends, but we need to figure this out all together because none of us is going anywhere. Beltran is going to be well equipped to do that. Will Albert Pujols be able to do that? He'll certainly carry the respect as the kind of player that he was, no doubt. He will walk in the room and immediately have that level of respect. He's never done this before other than a World Baseball Classic. How will that translate? Not really sure. He hasn't done it in New York before. Do I want a guy like Albert Pujols, who was a superstar player, who hasn't played in New York, to have his first opportunity as a manager in New York? I don't know about that. And then lastly, there's Alex Cora. This, to me, is the home run hire if they can ever make it happen. And they've obviously dug into it a little bit, but the early returns on Cora coming in for them and for Philadelphia were, no, we're good for right now, as in Cora's laying low. But if you can get Cora to be that guy, he then walks into the room with a much different kind of credibility. He walks into the room with the credibility of somebody that has led teams to world championships as a manager and understands what it's like to be a player as well. Not necessarily a superstar player, but are you going to tell me that both Lindor and Soto are not going to sit there and listen when Alex Cora speaks? Of course they are. So you have options here. What you can't do is go down the road of just another guy. I can't find the next Carlos Mendoza. No offense to Carlos Mendoza. I can't find the next guy who's just going to do whatever the paper tells him to do when it gets shot up through the system from the dorks down in the basement with all the numbers. I've always had this vision of like a laboratory with just a bunch of guys calculating numbers, and then it pops out the lineup for a day out of the computer, and they stick it into one of those tubes that You know, you see at the bank when you go to the drive-thru and it sucks it up and it sends it over to them. Like this is like that thing in Tommy Boy where Rob Lowe's shirt gets sucked off by that thing that goes all the way up the upstairs. Like that's the lineup for today. No, you get the point. It's me with a little sidetrack there that we didn't need. Anyway, credibility is what this is going to be about. This cannot be just somebody that's going to do whatever he is told in every moment by David Stearns or whoever. David Stearns, frankly, has lost that privilege to be able to determine all of that. All of the numbers cannot be the sole determination of what you're doing in the future, of what you're doing with your lineup, of what you're doing with particular moves. I need guys who have a feel. Those are guys who have a feel, who are able to incorporate knowledge and then incorporate their feel of the game and make it work together. The manager is the most important thing that the Mets are going to do in the next 6 months. The most. And that's crazy to say in baseball today. And they might just be the anomaly. But the way this is set up right now, you need somebody who is a strong leader and is going to put the two of them together with Soto and with Lindor and get everybody on the same page. I do think at least two of those three, in Cora and Beltran and Pujols, are capable of doing that, and maybe all three. I do know all three will walk in the door with respect right away. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. My friends, Zuffa Boxing makes its New York City debut Sunday, July 26th, live from the Infosys Theater at Madison Square Garden with a can't-miss double main event. Brooklyn's own Edgar Berlanga takes on Steven Butler in a 10-round super middleweight showdown, plus undefeated former super lightweight world champion Richard Hitchens faces Ricardo Salas in a 12-round welterweight bout. Want to be there? ESPN New York has your chance to win tickets. Just open the ESPN New York app, find the contest tile, and submit your entry. Don't miss this huge night of boxing brought to you by Madison Square Garden. Or get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. As for the Yankees, last night, obviously, they bust through against the Pirates. You get some shenanigans late in the game with Jose Caballero kind of ticking off the pitcher and his issues at the plate, and that causes the benches to clear momentarily. By the way, we did not hear from Aaron Boone on this, so I do want to hear from him on what was going on in that situation, and I want to hear from Caballero, too. We'll hear that in a second. Keeping this in mind with the Yankees, there's no more of waiting on Judge to see what's going to happen. There's none of that. What there is a terrible league that has to be taken advantage of. What did we say about the Knicks in the Eastern Conference, especially when we got to the playoffs? What we said was that the Knicks had to take advantage now because of how the Eastern Conference was stacked up. We said that during the year, not thinking the Celtics were going to be what they were going to be, and they obviously went out and had a 60-win regular season, but then get taken out by the Sixers very quickly. So the landscape changes on a dime, and the opportunity is there for the Knicks. And all you can do is think, if not now, when? And that's kind of how I'm approaching this with the Yankees. With a terrible American League, if not now, when? I don't worry about the Dodgers, okay? I won't worry, just similarly as with the Western Conference, I don't worry about whether or not I'm going to face the Spurs or I'm going to face the Thunder. How did that all work out? Like, you can say that the Knicks had handled the Spurs during the season, but the Spurs were still considerable favorites in the series going in. And let's be frank, when we got to halftime of Game 4, how were you feeling about the Knicks' chances? Even up 2-1, losing by 30. You weren't feeling too great. But they were able to put all of that behind them and still get the job done because the opportunity was there and they recognized if we don't get it done now, I don't know when we're going to get it done specifically. That's how this has to be with the Yankees. If we don't get it done now, even without Aaron Judge, even without Stanton for the moment, when exactly are we going to get it done? It's a fair question because the rest of the American League is absolutely awful. So I'll worry about the Dodgers when I got to worry about the Dodgers. It'll be a good problem to have. What I have to worry about right now is everyone else in this league who is just not all that good. Now, they, in turn, might be looking at me saying, Yankees are ripe to be picked off. I don't know that I could say that. I'm going to get Fried back, and I'm going to get Rodon back, and I'm going to have a lot of pitching to work with. I don't know that the Yankees are ripe to be picked off. I still think they have pretty good pitching the way they are right now, even without those guys. But what they have to do is be a little more aggressive this year. It has always been Brian Cashman's MO that when he feels like there's a little bit more of an opportunity to break through and win, that he has been more aggressive in getting after that when the trade deadline comes around. We've seen years where he has done a couple of things or some other minor tweaks. I feel like this is a year where you would do some bigger things. Now, I don't know what superstar player is walking through that door. I don't know that there is. I mean, obviously, the biggest name that we have all heard all along is Tarek Skubal, and the Tigers are playing much, much better over the last month plus. So why would I assume that Skubal is going to be the guy here that is going to get moved? I can't assume that. If I'm Detroit, I look at everybody else, and I'm saying the same thing. This league is not very good. Why would I trade away this guy right now when I still have a chance? So if you're the Yankees, it's as aggressive as you can be. It's not stupid, but it's not let's hang on to every prospect. It's not, we could talk about George Lombard Jr. being untouchable. If there's a chance to get a Skubal, even with their pitching as it is, or somebody of that ilk, a player of that ilk, that's exactly what they have to do. You cannot allow George Lombard to be the guy that stops you from doing that. You don't go and trade somebody of that ilk for a mid-level player. That's what you don't do. So the Yankees can go and add a couple of good mid-level players and really get better. Add a good right-handed hitting catcher. But you do not stand pat and just ride it out because Judge is not definitively back at a certain time. Even without Aaron Judge, please tell me who in the American League the Yankees cannot beat. Please tell me. The answer is they can beat anybody. They can beat absolutely anybody in the American League and get to the World Series. So they should not waste that opportunity. This is very much like the Knicks. Like, I could see a Yankee championship coming out of all of this, even without Judge. Because, as they tell us all the time, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. But if they get to the playoffs, they're better than anybody in that league. They can beat anybody in that league. They can. Even without Judge. And maybe it's, that they don't hit again in the postseason, but they find a different way to beat you, and that's by out-pitching you in the postseason. And that would certainly be good to see. But I would think that if you're going to go about it a different way, that's the way to go about it. You don't have the superstar player. You start to get creative with what you're doing. Okay, what other ways can we beat you? We can outpitch you. We can certainly do that. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Your calls coming up. Your comments coming up as well over on the ESPN New York YouTube chat. 800-919-3776.
1-8 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey, girl. I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
The Ass Man's here. He's in for Mr. K later on. It's Michael K, right? K? That K-A-Y? That's how you spell it? Yeah. I told you, and I'll say it again from yesterday, what a job by K and by Mike Breen last week helping us out. I'm involved in the Eric LeGrand fundraising golf tournament every year, charity classic that Eric has started the last 2 years. And Michael and Mike Breen both generously donated their tickets to a game, their tickets to a Knicks and Yankee game, and to visit with the 2 people that are going to the game beforehand. So, like, you can go visit the Yes booth, the people that won that, and meet Michael and meet whoever else is doing the game with him, and then go and, sit in his seat. And with Breen, same thing. I mean, these guys are incredible broadcasters. I've known them both for 25 years. They are better people than broadcasters. And that is saying something. I mean, Mike Breen with the voice of the NBA and the New York Knicks, with that and with the voice of the New York Yankees, that's a lot to ask, and those guys were generous enough to donate that. And that was pretty cool, and we raised some good money for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation last week, so I thank them immensely for that. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Will in Jersey City is up on ESPN New York. Will, what's going on?
Hey, thank you for getting me on, buddy.
You got it.
So I like a lot of the points that you made earlier in regards to the Yankees. I believe that if Scuba's available, we got to go get them. Prospects are what they are, prospects. I feel the same way you feel, that you have to find a different way of beating teams. Our offense hasn't done it. Imagine going into a series with Cole, Canfree, and Scooble, right? Now you become the modern-day Atlanta Braves. Yeah, they only won in the 90s. But listen, the way that things are right now, if you could put up that pitching staff right now, you're breezing through the AL, and you have a good chance of potentially beating the Dodgers.
Listen, I wouldn't even get to that point yet where I'd worry about it. If you go and you got Scooble, this is murderer's row of pitchers, right? But my problem here is I'm not convinced that Detroit's going to do that quite yet, considering the rest of the league isn't very good, and they have played much better over the last month. And remember, Detroit's been in that position before where they've put together an unbelievable finish to a season.
Agree. However, I think that if you don't go the Scooble route, you definitely have a shortstop in Houston that has postseason pedigree and has won an MVP in the World Series.
You want Altuve here?
Won the AFC.
You want Altuve?
No, Jeremy Pena, the shortstop.
Oh, the shortstop Pena.
Right?
I was like, oh, God, if you're talking about Altuve, I can't deal with that. No, I know he's the second baseman, but still, you get the point. Honestly,
he's got postseason experience, and then you got Devers.
When you said Houston, my head just exploded for a moment. That's all.
And then you have Devers, which will never probably happen.
No chance.
If you could get a big bat.
No, I would go nowhere near Rafael Devers. That would be a massive mistake. Look at what's gone on with Rafael Devers over the last year and a half. That guy is a good player, but do you want that guy on a championship level team? You cannot go and get Rafael Devers. Absolutely not. Emily is up next on ESPN New York. Emily, what's going on?
Thank you, sir, for taking my call. I wish Bart was there next to you, but such is life. I disagree a little bit with your take on the Yankees about getting out of the AL, right? Because, Boston's winning 14 in a row. The Rays are going to hang around. They're pesky. There's still a lot of baseball left to play. But you do have to think about who's waiting outside the door if you do get out of the AL, right? And this team right now, the Dodgers looked half asleep when they were playing. They still beat us.
Yeah.
And the question is right now, who can beat the Yankees? Who can beat the Yankees, right? The Yankees can beat the Yankees. This team is their own worst enemy. And Scooble would be great. That pitching staff would be insane. But he's not going to score runs. There's no traffic on base, and the defense is just. My issue is that this team looks way too similar to the 2024 team, of just lacking those basic fundamentals that a better team is going to come in and prey upon.
I get it. So at this point then, Emily, would you bring yourself to not do anything here in the coming weeks and just kind of throw your hands up if Judge is not? Let's just operate under an assumption that Judge is not back before September, because that's a very safe assumption at this point. Mm-hmm. Are you just saying, let's just ride it out and see what happens and we'll go back to work next year?
No.
You're trying
Definitely
to do
not.
something, right?
I think no, right. You do something, but I guess taper the expectations still. You know what I mean? And it's also if you are relying on one person to come in and salvage this thing that the wheels have seemed to have fall off, right? And I know there's slumps. But if you are relying on one guy, as incredible as he is, that, like, to me, that is just a much bigger issue. And I also want to ask you this. I want to pick your brain about this. Let's say the Yankees do not win the division this year. I still think that they will, but let's say they don't. Do you think that Boone is still here?
If they don't win the division, I don't think that has much to do with it. To me, for Boone to get fired, that would have to be even a first-round exit for that to even be thought of as a possibility. Like, they obviously love Aaron Boone. And when you go and you look at winning percentages, Aaron Boone has won a lot of games. I've never thought that Boone was the problem that many people think that he is. It might be a year where if the Yankees lost in round one, didn't win a division, that they would throw somebody to the wolves, and it might be Boone. But I'm not convinced that that would even happen, because what's just too easy is, well, we didn't have Judge and Stanton all year. We didn't have Judge for 3 months. Like, what are we supposed to do? How can I fire a manager off of that? It's very difficult to do that. But at the same time, fans are going to want blood at some point. That's fine. They've been upset years past. It hasn't done enough to move the needle for them. What really should be the focal point at the moment is the opportunity that lies in front of you. You can, as Emily was kind of outlining, they did look half asleep at times and still were not having much problem beating the Yankees. I'll worry about that when that's a thing. You know? I genuinely believe that this is a team that can beat anybody else in the American League and can do it in a way that is going to, not do it in a way per se, but do it in the fashion that would make you believe that they were capable of winning the World Series. It's not asking, like, the Knicks were never going to win anything without Jalen Brunson, right? I don't think it's the same thing with the Yankees and with Judge. It's not. Baseball and basketball are entirely different sports. The Yankees, if healthy, could have enough pitching to outpitch anybody. They could. If Fried is ready, if Rodon is like option number 4, Schlittler, Cole, like, you're in a really good spot. You're in a really good spot. And then that allows you to add a little bit more depth to what the bullpen would look like. The Yankees haven't hit in postseasons, and that's why they have lost. But if they can outpitch some teams, they could just find 1 or 2 guys that has a clutch gene in them, then it would make all the difference in the world. And that's why I would not just sit tight and do nothing if I don't think the Judge is going to be back, or only make minor tweaks and minor bullpen arms or any of that. I wouldn't do that. What I would do is I would go out there and try to add as much as I could. I would take every run at it that I could within reason. If that means a star player is going to get pried loose and I have to give up Lombard, I would do that. But I'm not giving him up for just a mid-level guy. But if there are mid-level guys that I believe can help me, a lot of times, you know, those guys, those glue guys are the ones that win World Series. That's something to think about. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube channel at 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. As many of your opportunities to get through on the phones the rest of the way as you would like. Plus, where are the Giants actually going to be improved on defense? Somebody has to explain this to me. It's next on ESPN New York.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
Hey, Yankees fans! Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at yankees.com/tickets.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one, 50% off windows and doors, and no payments, no interest for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See local showroom for details. Offer ends July 31st, 2026.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Tuesday with Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Will Chaz Chisholm's recent power surge get the Yankees back on track?
I just want to win. Honestly, that's all I'm feeling. Like, I'm going up there and trying to just help my team win. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. The first at bat, I wasn't trying to hit a home run. I was just trying to hit a fly ball to the outfield, get the run in, and it happened to just go out.
Who will the Mets trade by the deadline? Don Hahn and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If the Giants start out the season 0-3, forget it.
What's going to happen to 65 or sooner?
Well, kill it.
It's a little adversity.
You have a 5-year plan that after 3 weeks you're going to punt on.
Yeah, I can't handle 0-3 again.
Maybe it's a 10-year plan. 70 or sooner.
But that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. No, how could it?
No, it's not going to.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Honestly, somebody needs to explain to me how we immediately believe the Giants' defense is going to be much, much, much better. It's Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776. Jake Asman is in for K. He is coming up at the top of the hour. You can also chime in over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel with your comments. So let me see if I get this straight. The Giants couldn't stop a nosebleed last year. They traded away their best defensive player, who did not have a great season, but still a formidable player. Why am I supposed to believe that this is going to be a lot better this year? Like I love what Arvell Reese could potentially be. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think it could be really cool, the kind of player that he could be. But I look around the rest of the defense. Is Abdul Carter, like I hate the phrase, is he going to take the next step? How about this? How about we just get some sacks? Is Abdul Carter going to grow up, show up at meetings on time, and get some sacks? Are those things going to happen? What I saw last year, when you have a coach fired, everything gets thrown into disarray. Guys stop believing. You get toward later in the season, people are making business decisions. You really have what is an impossible spot, especially I've always found on the defensive side. An impossible spot. Because trying to get guys to buy in and week out and have the right mentality is exceptionally hard when you've already fired your head coach and everything else is just a mess. And the quarterback's hurt. The guy that was giving you some hope gets banged up, and he can't stop getting banged up. I was never expecting that to take a big step forward last year or really improve at any point last year. But while it should be, I mean, in some ways it can't be worse, right? I mean, you couldn't stop the run to save their lives. When you are that kind of a defense last year, how do you all of a sudden become a really, really good one? Is that only through coaching? Denard Wilson could be a very good defensive coordinator. Do I know for sure that that's going to be the case? I do not. I think he could be certainly better than what they were dealing with before, but that's not really setting the bar all that high. DJ Reader inside could help fill the void of losing Dexter Lawrence, but DJ Reader's the kind of guy that you bring in on a one-year deal. Kayvon Thibodeau has never turned into what we thought he was going to be. Reese could be a fun player to watch develop, but he's a rookie. Tremaine Edmonds is a nice player. Tyler Nubin has not been as good as he was after his first year. Javon Holland, we know what happened last season. I look around the defense, and I'm looking for the reasons for the Giants to be definitively better. And I'm having trouble finding them. And I don't think I'm the only one. I know what everybody's talking about with the offense. I understand being excited about Jackson Dart. I also understand being very concerned about where you stand with the health of Malik Neighbors. But where exactly is any of this going to translate into a team that takes a massive jump from last year to this year? Like the Jets and Giants were basically equally as bad last season. We did not have a football season around here. And so there seems to be this assumption that because they got John Harbaugh, that the Giants are going to take a massive step and everything's going to go in the right direction. Coaching sets a tone. There's no doubt. Aaron Glenn has a lot to prove. But if I'm going to operate based on personnel, I actually think the Jets have the chance to take a little bit more of a leap than the Giants do this year. The Giants are not going to be a horrible football team like they were last year. But do I know they're going to be a really good one? No. Do I know they're even going to be a good one? No. No. I don't have enough to prove that to be the case. Like, Schmitz has not turned into the center that I thought he was going to be. Maui Noah, I think, is going to be a really good player, but probably a guard, at least to start. Thomas, we know, is excellent. The offensive line is, it's getting there. But Maui Noah is a rookie and is going to be learning a lot and is going to be playing inside. Like, there are so many different variables with the Giants that I just think that we're taking the coach and putting him on this pedestal to be an incredible deodorant for everything that stinks. And is it going to be able to hide that stench? And as somebody that knows about hiding stenches, I can tell you, not always that easy. So I want to spend a few minutes here. I've talked about it a couple of times. It's obviously a difficult day. If you have followed social media today, you understand that there have been personnel changes at ESPN. There have been a lot of colleagues that are having a tough day, that are getting that phone call that you never want to get. Bart's name has been brought up in that group on social media, and I don't want to insult you or insult anybody else by not acknowledging that. I do want to say that there are still things that are very much up in the air that can still change in some ways. I as far as I know, like that's exactly what the phrasing has been to me. There are still things that are up in the air with the entirety of the situation. But I don't feel comfortable at the moment talking for Bart, because Bart hasn't spoken yet about it. And I don't know what his future holds for him. I can tell you this. As partners go, as people go, there are not many that are better. Our roles were kind of reversed. 6 years ago now at this point, 7 years ago, in 2019, where I was in a situation where I got cut loose. And that's a dude that had my back the entirety of the way and was amazing about it. He is a brother to me. He will always be a brother to me. And what the future holds as far as him and the show and all that, I'm not exactly clear on. But obviously his name has been out there today. And I'm with him. The man sits here and brings energy and is funny and compassionate toward people. And he is one of the most relatable athletes on a professional level I have ever known. And for the period of time as an athlete in the city that Bart was an icon, and he was, it was absolutely fantastic to see him bond with the fans. But people always tell you, you never want to meet your heroes sometimes. If anybody was fortunate enough to have Bart Scott as their hero and they met him, I can guarantee you they weren't disappointed. Because that dude never has a bad day. Never. And he will hang out and talk your ear off and have a blast with you in every instance. I love him to death. I do anything for him. And I feel I feel pretty crummy today because we just kind of don't know what the whole situation is. But we also know that there are a lot of people getting these kind of calls today that affects them, affects their families, affects what their future might hold. And I have been in this position before. And if you have been in this position in your chosen field, you know how much a day like this can really suck. And people mean well when they reach out and they say good things and, hey, you'll be okay and all that. If you're like me, the last thing that you want from anybody is sympathy. I can tell you that it's one day, it's a brief period, and then it's what's next. And a lot more often than not, you find out that things happen for a reason. And I've always believed in that. Because frankly, it's always been the case in my life. So however this plays out, I don't know. As I said, I will not speak for Bart because he's the one who should speak for himself. I love him. He is my brother in every way possible. Jake Asman's next in for Michael on ESPN New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, one